Shout out to everybody that has donated to the channel. Really appreciate it. It helps it out. There's nobody to thank but you all. You all made this possible. It literally felt like a month and a half ago or 2 months ago, I was at 3K subscribers. And I'm finally at 4K subscribers that fast. That's pretty freaking fast considering how long it took me to even get to 3,000 subscribers, or how long it took me to get to 2,000, or how long it even took me to get to 1,000. Oh my goodness, it took me like years to get to 1,000. So like this is actually like really ridiculous. Thank you all for the love, the support. It's actually helping my channel get better in quality, grow, and etc. I'm glad that my information is getting out there enough to the point where that many people have the like my stuff good enough to actually press that button. Welcome you new 1,000 subscribers. Hope you guys enjoy the content so far on this page, the stuff you haven't seen. If you're new, welcome. Hopefully you see more content that you like, that I keep on posting, things like that. As you can see, I'm not like most YouTubers. I do actually comment back and I engage with the community. I may not be able to reply to every single comment, but I do my best to try to comment to a lot of them, you know what I mean? That type of thing. But you guys, thank you so much. Hopefully we can keep on growing even more. Road to 5K, baby, even 10K. 11K, hey, maybe I can get to 100K. That would be lovely, because this is something I love to do, and it really helps me really be able to spend more time on doing this type of stuff, engage with the community, and really have a place to really just flush out my geekness and just geek out with y'all and have fun with it. So today I thought I'd be doing something different. I think today I'm going to do like a Marvel tier system breakdown. You're probably like, wow, this is new. Yeah, it is new. Something new I tried to do. I've done a lot of videos on the How Strong series, probably one of the most successful things on my channel so far. Check out those playlists if you don't know what I'm talking about. How Strong series is me basically analyzing different characters around fiction, trying to get into anime, trying to get into more video game characters in the future as well as that, and continuing doing more characters as time goes by. But today I think I will be analyzing the best way I can explain the Marvel Universe's tiers. I mean, you know, when it comes to tiers, it's not an exact science. The best organization when it comes to tiers we have is the Marvel handbooks when it comes to the ton system. And I've already made a video about how those numbers are kind of really hard to really take literally. But when it comes to like what Marvel intends for the characters to be at, it does make somewhat sense. So I would give my opinion and where I will rank the characters and my breakdown of it. Like I said before, it's not an exact science, so if you don't agree with certain things, that's fine. But, you know, come at me cordial and, you know, conversate with me. Don't just be like, oh my God, this is trash, you suck. Like, you do that, I'm not going to reply to you. Like, that type of thing. You know, some of this stuff is subject to change and all that stuff. I'm willing to hear you out and things like that and make changes in the future if a character deserves to be higher. And based on my research and my experience with these characters, I will give my basic rundown of where I think the characters rank at. With that, all that being said, I'm gonna give a rundown of how I think the Marvel tier system is broken down based on all the research I've done over the past years of knowing these characters and stuff. I've been doing this for a little while now. Even before I made a YouTube, I will make tier systems. You know, if you don't know what a tier system is basically somebody organizing characters that are within the same range of power. Where do characters rank compared to one another? Like, it's kind of like the class system, like that. But me personally, I'm not a fan of those numbers, like the ton, like using the word ton, T-O-N. So I won't be using that in my system because this is my personal system. The way I want to break it down. My ranking process is basically going to go off attack power, whether it be energy projection, blast power, how much a character can hit with his fist, how much he can kick, how much he can attack in general, whether it be energy manipulation or things like that. It's really hard to scale like attack power when you are a reality warper. Like, say for an example, it's hard to say like you can blast away a building just because you can like reality warp a building out of existence. It's hard to measure reality warping with actual energy output. You know what I mean? That type of thing. But I'm not going to get into that too much in this video. But I'll just give you an example of how they can get a little confusing and there's no black and white exact science to this tier system. You know what I mean? I would say it's broken down like this. You got super soldier level characters in Marvel. I would say characters like Captain America fall into this rank. Like characters like him, Daredevil, Winter Soldier, and characters like that. I would say characters like this can punch through brick walls with their attack power. They're fast enough to dodge bullets with ease. Like, they relatively are shown to have massively hypersonic reflexes, even able to dodge lightning, even keep up with characters that are way physically stronger than them when it comes to combat speed, like Spider-Man and stuff like that. So that's the type of tiers I would say. Now, there is characters I would still label in this tier, but they will be considered like, well, I would say, I'm gonna call it outlier, higher end versions of this tier, because they're either equipment, their attack power, they have something that negates their ability, that helps them to be able to harm beings in a much higher tier, or even kind of get fatal wounds on their beings on a much higher tier. You're probably wondering, what type of characters am I talking about? I'm talking about characters like Black Panther and Wolverine. Now, you're probably thinking they're in the same tier with Captain America and them. Yeah, me personally, I would put them in the same tier with Captain America and them and the Super Soldier levels because of their physical strength output. Now, Black Panther can be debated to be a lot higher than this because of the King of the Dead power up, where he got all the knowledge and power of all the Black Panthers combined. So, yeah, then that would make him obviously way above this level. But I'm talking about like base form Black Panther. I would say physical strength wise, attack power wise, just raw energy output, I would say he would still be in the Super Soldier range. Same with characters like Wolverine. Now, Wolverine and Black Panther have these special metals known as adamantium and vibranium, which allows their pretty much to ignore durability. They can harm beings way out of their tier. Like they can even cut beings like Hulk and Thor because of their metal. But I wouldn't necessarily put them on their level tier wise because of inconsistencies. Like, could they really beat beat them in, like, you know, they might get lucky and do like a fatal wound on Thor one fight, but then did you really see them doing that again in the fight? You know, Thor, you know, it's Thor, you know, that type of thing. That's why I wouldn't put him necessarily up there. Then you got characters like Wolverine, ridiculous regeneration. It's like, how does people in his, like Captain America tier, even knock him out? Like, that's why I'm saying they're like outlier versions of the Super Soldier tier. Like, they're very, very, very high ends next to their hacks, their gear, their metal, that type of thing. But I would still label them in the Super Soldier level when it comes to actual raw strength and attack power, things like that. I mean, for Pete's sake, Marvel characters are a lot stronger than you're probably thinking, because considering characters like Captain America can throw his shield so freaking hard, it can go through a freaking tank. So yeah, this level of strength, I mean, the Marvel class system classifies them as peak human. I don't really like that name for it. I mean, when you can throw your shield through a tank, it kind of makes it seem like they're in this 5 or 10 level range of attack power wise. You know what I mean? That type of thing. So for the first tier, by the way, I can't fit every single character in one video. So if your favorite character is not listed in this video, it's not personal. You know, I can't list every single Marvel character. Marvel is one of the biggest universes in fictional history. So, you know, if you're wondering where my character at in this, well, just for a few examples, Moon Knight would be considered in this tier. More than likely, characters like Blade could be in the higher ends of this tier, that type of thing. Like, if you're wondering where your character is in this tier, Iron Fist without using his Iron Fist ability would be in this tier. You know, of course, like that type of thing. Characters like Winter Soldier, Bucky will be in this tier. There's probably many more I'm not remembering at this moment. I would like to talk about the next tier that I want to talk about, which is, one could say, the Spider-Man level tier. I'm just going to call it the Metahuman tier. I'm trying to keep my tiers different than the actual communities tier, so I won't get confused. Like the ton system, I won't be using the ton system to say, oh, 10 tonner tier, or 10 tonner range, or 10 tonner class. I'm not using that. So yeah. This tier, the Metahuman tier, I would classify as the Spider family range of power. These people are borderline, like close to the speed of light, if not the speed of light, when it comes to reflexes, because Spider-Man's feats was precognition. I would say in this tier, when it comes to attack power and like strength in general, these characters are generally considered pretty much leaps and bounds stronger than the Super Soldier tier. Like Captain America and them can like probably lift the car up and stuff like that, and lift probably at least 10 tons, if I'm being honest. Captain America can, but Spider-Man has been shown to be able to lift up tanks that weigh 60 plus tons, support the weight of the building, fight on par with characters like Venom, and all this crazy stuff. So I would consider webhead type family members to be pretty much in a higher tier when it comes to physical strength and output. Now you're probably wondering, like, wait a minute, man, but Wolverine could probably give Spider-Man a good fight. That is true. Wolverine probably could give Spider-Man a good fight because of his durability, his adamantium, and his regeneration, making him like one of the higher end Super Soldier people. But when it comes to raw physical strength, Wolverine isn't close. But like I said before, he has an equalizer, the adamantium claws, which makes him be able to compete with people much higher tiers. This is one of those occasions. And same with Captain America. I'm not saying that characters like Captain America and stuff can't like hang with characters like Spider-Man, because, you know, that type of thing. You know, after all, Spider-Man is a hero, and we've seen them fight each other, and it's not like one-sided all the time. You know what I mean? Daredevil's even got the advantage over Spider-Man a couple times. But when I would say like going all out physical strength-wise, Spider-Man is a pretty decent gap above characters like Daredevil and Captain America. You know what I mean? That makes sense. Same with characters like Venom, Spider-Gwen, Miles Morales, and that type of thing. Like Spider-Head families. Like, you know, oh my goodness. I'm not even going to talk about Miles Morales. It's like electric manipulation and stuff like that. Remember that, yeah, I wasn't playing about their reflexes in this tier. Spider-Man has dodged like literally stuff that's the speed of light, like these actual lasers on this occasion. That's what I mean about this Spider Family thing. Like, you know, I would say like their tier's a little bit above. Like I said, I'm not blind. Like there has been times where characters like Captain America, you know, Captain America kind of has this little shield made of vibranium too, so it kind of helps him be able to keep up. And like I said, their speed is impressive, so he can keep up with characters like Spider-Man. But like I said, this doesn't negate the fact that Spider-Man's strength is vastly higher. Like mostly because of Captain America's combat speed, reflexes, and like just pure skills in general is the reason why he can hang with characters like Spider-Man, even in this Iron Spider suit. Don't want to really get on the Spider-Man PS4 too much in this video because, you know, it's not main Spider-Man. But like Spider-Man in this universe made battle suits with prep that could keep up with speedsters and stuff like that. They can move like faster than I could see, that type of thing. That's pretty much why I would consider them in the metahuman tier above the super soldier tier. You know what I mean? So that settles that, right? Hopefully it does. Like I said, it's not an exact science. There's characters where it is, I don't really know what tier they would go in because sometimes they rely in between a tier. Like, for example, I don't know where a character like Anti-Venom will lie because he's supposedly way above like the normal Venom. So yeah, if they're around the same age as Spider-Man, like where would he go? You know what I mean? It's stuff like that. Like I said, it's not an exact science to it. The next tier I would like to talk about would be like I'm just going to name this the tank tier. I don't really know what to name it, but this is a weird tier and it may cause some controversy. This is the tier I would say would be a good way to rank characters like Luke Cage and Iron Fist tier. Like you're probably like, what? They're above Spider-Man? No, I'm not necessarily saying Spider-Man characters can compete with characters like this, but it's like when it comes to attack power and strength, it is like Marvel has some writer intent when it comes to Spider-Man and Luke Cage. Like, for example, they label Spider-Man a class 10 tonner. Like, even like the ton thing, don't take the ton thing seriously. But like you can take the actual writer intent seriously though. You can take, okay, they want him to be in this tier and they want Luke Cage to be in this tier. You can take it like that. You can take it like, okay, word ton, just take that out of the equation. But if they want Spider-Man to be 10 class and they want Luke Cage to be 25 class, then it's clear. I mean, you know, that type of thing. Now, there has been times where it's been some inconsistencies. Luke Cage has struggled with spider people, you know, when they're amped. But Luke Cage seemingly got some power-ups over the years, and the writers have consistently changed his power levels. And there's been times where he even completely destroyed symbiote-like characters like Matt Gargan Venoms, to just give an example of why I believe he's in his class, and not to mention his durability, too. You're probably wondering why the durability matters. Well, for one, I do believe Luke Cage can hurt himself with his punches, so that means a lot considering his durability. With his raw strength, it was this one time he was able to destroy Invisible Woman's shield, which is a ridiculous feat considering I actually have a full-blown video about Invisible Woman, if you can check that out, which is why, another reason why I consider Luke Cage in this tier. He's actually taken down Spider-Man type characters or villains like Green Goblin, that type of thing. I mean, the thing that really, really makes me think he's in this tier above the, you know, them, and especially in the recent times, is that he was fighting Proxima Midnight, a Black Order member in the comic books, and they was creating mini earthquakes and shockwaves when he was going all out, that type of thing. So that's why I believe, you know, it's a little weird gray area when it comes to the tiers, and sometimes there's inconsistencies to why people debate whether who's stronger, Spider-Man or Luke Cage, and that's up for debate. I would say it's probably still up for debate when it comes to, you know, all these different power levels in comics. It can get a little confusing, but for right now, I would say Luke Cage is probably like in a tier above right now. It's based on writer intent. And then you got the fact pumpkin bombs don't do nothing to him like the Green Goblins type gear or the Hobgoblins type gear, that type of thing. This is expected, but like characters like Daredevil break their hand hurt trying to punch Luke Cage, that type of thing. So hopefully that cleared the air. But like I said, this stuff is subject to change. But for right now, I would say that this is where they go. And then it's pretty obvious why Iron Fist is here. I mean, Iron Fist is a character that's so powerful. Now, under normal conditions, I would say Iron Fist, like I said earlier, is in the Captain America range. But when you start getting into the chi manipulation and energy output and punching output, thanks to his Iron Fist punch, his punch is getting compared to like a nuclear explosion type thing. Iron Fist has defeated characters like Radiant, whose power was measured in the hundreds of megatons, that type of thing. So yeah, that's why I believe these guys are ranked like this. So yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying my ranking process so far, but let's move on to the next rank. Now we're getting into those tiers that start getting a little confusing and interchangeable. You got characters like Colossus. I wouldn't necessarily say he's a Thor level being, but at the same time, I wouldn't necessarily say he's that far behind to the point where I would put him down there with super soldiers or metahumans, that type of thing. Like Colossus is pretty ridiculous. I actually got a full-blown video about Colossus in case you want to know more about him, in case you're confused on why I rank him this high. But, you know, just a few reasons. Characters in this tier, I would name the heavyweight tier. These characters are generally shown to be able to kind of hang with the super heavyweights. Like I'm talking about the super heavyweights like Thor and Hulk and them. Like they're shown to be able to scuffle with them from time to time. And if they're lucky, they might actually get a W on these characters. But it's not to the point where you would say, oh man, Colossus could fight a completely bloodlusted out Hulk, you know what I'm saying, or a bloodlusted out Thor. Like that's one of those situations where I don't see that happening, but he can pretty much phase them with his punches, his attack power, and things like that based on feats. Colossus even has a feat that I've shown in my Colossus video of him being able to break through something that Doctor Strange had a problem breaking through. Like that's what solidifies him in this level. Not to mention characters like the Thing has shown to be able to slug it out with Hulk and Thor on a couple of occasions, even pretty decently angried out Thor and stuff like that. So I would consider them definitely in the heavyweight class for sure. Along with actually when it comes to raw physical strength output, being able to harm beings with black hole level durability, the Thing has been able to shown to be able to pretty much harm Hulk-like characters. Same with characters like Colossus, and Colossus and the Thing have actually arm wrestled each other. So just to let you know, like they are comparable in strength, and the writer intent is definitely there. Like I said, I have full-blown videos about this. Not to mention characters like the Thing has arm wrestled characters like the Hulk too. So then there's that. So yeah, it really solidifies them in the higher end of this heavyweight tier. But if I'm being honest, one could easily say he belongs in the super heavyweight tiers. But for the sake of this video, I'm just going to be safe and say he's in the heavyweight tier. Fair enough, right? Same with characters like Colossus. In case you're wondering who else I would label in this tier as well, I would label Sensational She-Hulk in this tier. Albeit the lower end, I would still say the Thing is decently stronger than her. But like if I had to label her somewhere, it would be here. Same with characters like Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers, I would say belongs in this tier as well. And same as characters like Valkyrie from the Marvel Comics. That's fair enough, right? I would hope so, right? Albeit, I would still think the Thing is physically stronger than all of these beings. But if I had to put them somewhere, this is where they would go. You know what I mean? That type of thing. I still would say the Thing is the higher end of the heavyweights, like the really extremely higher ends of the heavyweights. And then Sensational She-Hulk and Captain Marvel will probably be like maybe what, mid-end of this heavyweight tier. And then like maybe Valkyrie might be mid-end or low-end, that type of thing. It's interchangeable, that type of thing. So in case you're curious, characters in this tier like the Thing has overpowered something that had enough power to drill through the planet. So I'm just saying he has that much strength to overpower something that can drill through the planet. Beings in this tier can do this type of thing. This is way over hundreds of tons, people. Way over thousands of tons, people. The power to drill through an entire planet, it takes way more 100,000 tons, people. Just letting you know. It takes way more than 500,000 tons, people. Just throwing that out there. Yep, and the Thing has even fought and did this. Yep. Characters like Black Bolt, I would say, fall in this power level as well, in the higher end with the Thing, of course. But when it comes to, like, that's physical strength-wise. When it comes to just true blast power, I would definitely say Black Bolt will probably belong in the super heavyweights along with the Hulk-level characters. Now, speaking of the super heavyweights, probably everybody's favorite tier, probably one of the coolest tiers without the characters getting too overpowered to the point where it gets hard for them to write. Like some characters get to the points where in tiers where it gets hard for them to write. Like this is a good balance, I would say. This is one of my favorite tiers, and this tier and below this tier, probably my favorite tiers because they're not overly powered up where it's bad writing. When you get to them overpowered characters, it's easy to have PIS moments of bad writing because it's like when you get so powerful, it's like, why don't you just do this with reality warping? Why don't you just do this with matter manipulation and just end the fight early or end the story early? Like, but sometimes they don't, sometimes they do, so that's where it comes into bad writing and things like that. But this tier, I feel like has a good balance of that. Characters that belong in this tier, the super heavyweight tier would be like Thor with and without Mjolnir, can lift Midgard serpents, can cause universal shockwaves, can fight somebody that can lift the heavens. Oh yeah, by the way, that being is Hercules, by the way. Thor and Hercules are relatively comparable to each other in the Marvel Universe, and you know, Hercules has supported the weight of the heavens and lifted it because of Atlas and all that stuff. The cosmos. Immeasurable amounts of weight. Like, how the heck do you do that? Like, that's what the type of characters these are. Like I said, there are heavyweight people like the Thing that has competed with these people. But like, you know, then you got characters like Gladiator, Blue Marvel, the Century, Juggernaut, the whole 9 yards, a whole bunch of super heavyweights in this tier and things like that. Now, like I said, in the Super Soldier tier, there's characters like Wolverine who have metal that ignore durability, which allows them to fight people or jump tiers basically because of their metal, their equipment, their gear they have, like Black Panther being able to get the King of the Dead amp and things like that, like that type of thing. You know, they can compete with characters that are in the tank level or heavyweight level because of this, because of skills and gear and all that added together. Now, in this tier, there's actually characters that can increase their power during battle based on their emotional state, power-ups they can achieve during the heat of battle. No rituals or nothing like that, no prep time involved. Like characters like Gladiator can, in theory, get stronger than normal based on his confidence. You got characters like the Hulk, the madder he gets, the stronger he gets, depending on his circumstances. He can jump tiers, fight beings that are kind of out of his league at times. Like in that time he was able to fight Onslaught, even though characters like Juggernaut couldn't, like, which is crazy. And then you got characters like, you know, Century, he can jump tiers based on his stability status. Like in a death seat, it pretty much made him stable and all that craziness. Like more than likely, I would say out of all of these characters, more consistently portrayed to be stronger than your average super heavyweight would be like the Sentry. I would say he would be like their above average super heavyweight under normal conditions. I would say under normal conditions, he's consistently to be the top tier super heavyweight and can beat like all the other super heavyweights like Hercules, Hulk, and etc. Like, for example, Hulk has never really got like a really good win on Sentry because of he has a calming hacks against him and he calms him down. He can't really access his full power and that type of thing. But there's times, like I said, the Hulk is one of those characters where he's circumstantial. You know, the Hulk can have his times where he jumps tiers, which could kind of put Hulk and Sentry, the two dangerous people on this list based on their emotional states, mental states. They can jump tiers in the heat of battle. That type of thing. You know, Sentry with the Void, creating stuff with the Void, reality warping, energy projection, all that craziness. I mean, heck, all somebody got to do is just like kill somebody, an Avenger in front of the Hulk's face, and he would probably go berserk, that type of thing. That's one advantage like characters like Hulk and Sentry have over other powerhouses in this tier. Like characters like Thor can increase his power during battle, but he's more than likely like around the same range during the battle, other than the Warrior's Madness amp. And, you know, of course, he got like overpowered power-ups like Rune King Thor. But let's be honest, that's a special circumstance, a special event. Got to do a ritual to get this power up. He can't achieve this just in the heat of battle. He can't just do like Goku and says, I'm going to power up into Super Saiyan 3 in the middle of the battle. He can't just go to Rune King in the middle of the battle. That's what I mean. But the difference between this, you know, this is a way more overpowered than all these characters. So then there's that. But Sentry and the Hulk can get power-ups in the middle of the battle. That's the difference. That's what I'm trying to say. Characters like Blue Marvel will be considered in the higher end of the super heavyweight as well, based on the fact he can fight the Sentry and has a weakness to Sentry and things like that. He's even one-shot at Ultimate Hulk. Actually, one-shot KO'd Ultimate Hulk. This is a ridiculous feat, considering that Ultimate Hulk has actually battled the real Hulk in an actual slugfest, and it wasn't a one-shot. It wasn't easy. So that gives you an idea of Blue Marvel's power, reason why he's in the super heavyweights. One example of what I'm talking about, the Hulk can jump tiers. Yeah, when he's super angry, he can just jump tiers, that type of thing. Him and Sentry are deadly when it comes to just their emotional states. It is like Silver Surfer will be in this tier as well. Yeah, you know, you get the idea. Like, this is the super heavyweight tier. So these beings in this tier are black hole level, at least bare minimum. A lot of these characters have universal-ish feats and things like that based on scalings and how you want to look at it, that type of thing. You get to the crazy tiers, like getting to the borderline overpowered tiers. One could debatably say there's a tier between super heavyweight and Skyfather. That can be where Sentry with the Void goes, or Sentry the Void could be in the Skyfather. It's like, it's up for debate. It's up for conversation. It's just one of those things we actually never saw him actually fight an actual, like, labeled Skyfather. Like, we've seen him fight people that are the Skyfather level power, but to really concrete you, I would say personally, is to fight an actual Skyfather like Zeus and Odin in their heyday, even though Marvel hasn't really been betraying Zeus and Odin in their best ways, at least recently, but whatever. The Marvel Skyfathers in this tier, these beings are like, can more than likely blast away a universe if they felt like it. Like, these are people you would consider like the higher end Skyfathers, like the actual Zeus when he was actually portrayed the right way, and Odin in his prime, and all the other Council of Godheads, all these other different type of Skyfathers you hardly ever see even fight. Like, they event people. You don't see them do too much. Like, they come out when ish is getting real, that type of thing. Yeah, like heroes that like I said, there are a few heroes that I feel like can jump in this level of power due to their lore, but it would probably be like a more than likely a temporary type of thing. Characters like the Sentry, I would say the Hulk, can, like, in theory, jump to these levels of power, or because, you know, the Hulk's lore about him being the son of the one below all, you know, it just, you know, it doesn't have to happen yet. You know, it hasn't happened, but it's just a theory. Like, Sentry could easily jump to these levels, or I think he probably has in recent comics and things like that, and that type of thing. That's what I meant when I told you earlier about the heavyweight outlier characters, like the characters that can jump tiers. Like, there's definitely characters that are superheroes that can jump in this tier. I mean, heck, there's characters like Franklin Richards who are technically above this tier, and he's on Earth just chilling sometimes. I'm like, where you at when the big events be happening? You know how Marvel is. But that type of thing. So, yeah, do I think the Hulk and them can, like, just fight Skyfathers walking around? Nah, I don't think they can fight Skyfathers just walking around. I do feel like it's going to take a special circumstance condition, you know, but they can achieve that in the heat of battle under the right circumstances. But normally, nah, heck no, they're going to get blasted away. But with power-ups and stuff, like, you know, Rune King Thor, Chaos King Hercules, they can easily surpass these levels of power. Like I said in my Rune King Thor and Chaos King Hercules video, they surpass this level of power, the Skyfather ranges of power. They even reach the abstract plus ranges of power. Also, I would like to know, maybe characters like classic Doctor Strange would fall into the Skyfather category, I would say. That's why Characters like classic Doctor Strange or Doctor Strange in general be hanging out with mystical beings all the time. He be hanging out with the Marvel hierarchy type people. Well, that brings me to the next tier. I would say this self-explanatory, like abstract tier. Galactus fully fed would more than likely be on this level. But let's face it, when do we ever see Galactus fully fed? Like I said, like he would be on the level of eternity, like the Avatar eternity. I'm not talking about the eternity that encompasses the whole Marvel universe. It's like one eternity. Yeah, it gets a little confusing, but there's like the one eternity you have here that there's an eternity in every Marvel universe, but then you have the bigger eternity that encompasses the entire Marvel universe. See, that's where it gets into the dimensional stuff, and I don't want to talk about that because it gets a little confusing. And heck, I think I might confuse myself if I talk about this too long. Yeah, characters in the abstract tier, you're getting to the rank of power where you can just blast away multiple universes, reality warp them out of existence like with ease. It just starts to get to the point where the characters get a little too overpowered to write stories for, in my personal opinion. I mean, there's a way to do it, but it's just one of those things. If I was a writer, I would stray away from the characters that powerful. You just kind of get into that deadly range of power. Okay. I know there was a lot of information, but just to give a little recap real quick about the power levels, I would say none of this stuff is black and white. You got characters like super soldier characters like Black Panther and Wolverine that can like harm beings like in the super heavyweight class or even the Skyfighters because of their metals, but I wouldn't necessarily put them in that range. When it comes to raw physical strength and stuff like that, I would put them below characters like Spider-Man. Spider-Man's characters that can lift several hundreds of tons. I've had multiple videos and proof of that for those that still believe he can only lift 10 tons or 20 tons at max. I have proof of that. So yeah, get out of here with that BS. And then in my personal opinion, I would consider Iron Fist in a tier above that. He has like nuclear attack power. I mean, if you can make the Hulk flinch with your punch and make him seemingly make facial expressions when you punch him in the back of the head, that would definitely concrete you there. Then they compared his power to a neutron bomb, hydrogen bomb. So Iron Fist is definitely a beast. Same with characters like Luke Cage. Like I say, people debate whether Luke Cage is stronger than Spider-Man. I think Marvel kind of intended for him to be stronger than Spider-Man, but not like an astronomical degree. But there is times where it does imply astronomical, like the time he curb stomped Matt Gargan's symbiote Venom, and then Hobgoblin, and Hobgoblins can't really harm him because of his durability. So if anything, it might not be his physical strength that puts him above him. It might be just his durability, I would say, because durability is important. And one can do durability scaling and say Luke Cage can hurt himself, so that will make his punching power even better than that. And then you got the fact that he actually fought a Black Order member and they was creating earthquakes with his attack power. So I'm pretty sure that's pretty clear when it comes to that. But yeah, it's up for debate, I guess. Who knows? Who really knows, right? Then you got the heavyweight tiers. The heavyweight tiers like Captain Marvel, She-Hulk is range on their luckiest days. The lower ends like She-Hulk could give them the super heavyweights a scuffle. But you got the higher end heavyweight characters like The Thing, who has on some occasions actually got a W on them, but more than likely on a super raised out Hulk and super raised out Thor, they would get the win over characters like Colossus and The Thing, but they would not go out quietly because characters like The Thing, Colossus have armor, so they're comparable in strength, and they have hurt beings that have black hole level durability. Like Gladiator has durability to survive a black hole like with ease, rip apart black holes with his strength. Characters like the Hulk has overpowered him, and The Thing has armor, so characters like the Hulk and Colossus has gotten a slugfest with Gladiator. Didn't win, but it shows that he was able to scuffle with him for an extended fight, and it wasn't just a one shot. That's something to be known, so it isn't just oh man, they had like a little baby scuffle like the Hulk and Spider-Man had. No, the Colossus and Gladiator scuffle was not the same way that Spider-Man and Hulk's clashes be. Like those are different types of scuffles. You got the scuffle with Captain America trying to fight Hulk, where Captain America literally can't do nothing, and then you got the scuffles like Colossus and Gladiator, where Colossus actually can do damage. But the difference with Captain America trying to hurt the Hulk is that he really just can't hurt him at all. He still scuffled with him. Technically, still scuffled with him, but he couldn't really do too much to him. Then you got the super heavyweights like the Hulk and Sentry, can increase in power and even jump tiers thanks to their genetics and potential, thanks to the new lore of the Hulk being part of the One Below All or the One Below All son. Who knows where they're going to go with his potential. We haven't really seen it truly fleshed out yet. Still waiting for the next issue of Immortal Hulk, by the way. And then you got Sentry. He's another one of those characters where I can definitely see him being a higher end heavyweight. He's more than likely stronger than your average heavyweight on your normal day, but then he can jump tiers even further thanks to his emotional state, calm state, just like we saw in Death Seed, that type of thing. Then you got Skyfighters, event level people that you hardly ever see because they're too overpowered for their own good. that type of thing. They won't get as many stories as a character like the Hulk or Thor. They're not going to get much love because there's a whole bunch of Skyfathers in Marvel that a lot of people don't even know about because they don't even get no stories. Then you got the characters like Eternity, Infinity, the abstracts. You're getting into the overpowered tier, and then and all that crazy stuff. So. But guys, I hope you guys enjoyed my little breakdown. This was like a little celebration special video for helping me reach 4K. Appreciate the love for helping me reach 4K. I couldn't do this without y'all. Hopefully, I will see you guys next times. Thank you for the 4K, guys. Let's get the 5K, baby. Hopefully, my channel keeps getting support. If you want me to do more videos like this, comment below. What are your thoughts on this? You think there's some things I should tweak? I hear you out as long as you're not hostile. Things like that. Post your comments down below. Let me know what you all think.